Greetings, friend. It's Alexander, and I am genuinely grateful you've decided to spend this time with me. Today, we open a discussion that is the foundation of all lasting success. A law so fundamental it operates whether you are aware of it or not. The principles we discuss today are drawn from the foundational work of Napoleon Hill, a profound thinker who interviewed the world's most successful figures to find the single truth that united them all. That truth is the master key you already possess. It is the single principle, the fundamental law that all great minds believe in. The principle is this, and you must hold it sacred. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. This is not a catchy phrase. It is a natural law. It is indifferent to your social status, your current bank account, or your level of formal education. It simply demands a clear signal. The journey begins with definiteness of purpose. You cannot be vague, and you cannot be half-hearted. A ship leaves harbor with a precise heading. A mind must do the same. If you do not state exactly what you want from life, the mind and the forces that operate upon it will drift, and you will find yourself precisely where the current takes you. Your first non-negotiable act of power must be to write down, clearly and simply, your single major desire. Describe it in such detail that I or anyone else could read it and know exactly what you are striving for. This act of writing is the ignition point. It is the conscious command that activates the master key. Do this and you are ready for the greater understanding. When we fail to set a clear purpose, we fall victim to a subtle but powerful deception. We believe that since we are intelligent beings, we are automatically rational, and that our failures are a product of bad luck or poor circumstance. This is false. If the mind is left undirected, it doesn't simply become a blank slate. No, it becomes a mirror, reflecting and attracting the dominant thoughts of its environment. It begins to feed upon the negative patterns it encounters: fear, doubt, poverty, and illness. And the natural law of the universe, which Napoleon Hill described as the cosmic habit force, acts upon these patterns just as faithfully as it would upon positive ones. Consider Thomas Edison. He conceived the idea of becoming the world's greatest inventor and achieved it with only 3 months of common school education. His success was not a miracle. It was the inevitable conclusion of a mind focused with absolute definiteness on a single goal. His mind conceived and believed, and the universal law executed the command. The mind is not merely a tool for absorbing information. It is a force that attracts. Therefore, the moment you decide to take control, you must recognize the gravity of your thoughts. If you dwell on undesirable circumstances, you are simply directing your mental power to attract those very circumstances. The great secret is that success is not merely wished for. It is attracted by the precise mental attitude you maintain. To truly understand the stakes of this mental control, we must revisit the profound lesson of Andrew Carnegie, the concept of the 2 sealed envelopes. This is the choice that separates the master from the drifter. Carnegie explained that every human being, at birth, is blessed with incredible spiritual and mental forces, symbolized by 2 envelopes. The entire course of your life depends on which envelope you choose to activate. The envelope labeled penalties contains the certain fate of those who neglect the forces given to them. A life of aimless drifting, fear, worry, and dependency on chance. It is the story of a mind that lives in debt to circumstances. But the envelope labeled riches contains the blessings that define a truly successful existence. And here is where I need you to pause and question everything you thought you knew about wealth. The material riches, the money, are listed last because they are merely the final result of securing the internal foundations. These are the 5 core riches you already possess, and they are not subject to the market, to tax, or to theft. You have been granted sound health, which is the fundamental vitality that comes from a clean, purposeful life, a currency more valuable than any bank balance. You have the profound serenity of peace of mind, the inner state that fear cannot touch, a stillness that makes you richer than a king in a troubled kingdom. You possess the freedom that comes from pursuing a labor of love of your own choice, the ability to align your efforts with your deepest values, making your daily life an act of devotion, not desperation. You are shielded by the powerful, unshakable armor of freedom from fear and worry, the state of mental sovereignty that grants you emotional detachment from every external outcome. And finally, you carry the single, magnetic force of a positive mental attitude, the internal magnet that, when charged correctly, guarantees the material world must align itself with your inner demands. Ask yourself, when was the last time I truly utilized these incredible assets? These are your birthright. The Stoic wisdom aligns perfectly here. We are concerned with what is ours, and the health of our mind is the only thing truly under our banner. To focus on any of these 5 internal riches is to immediately deny the power of the negative, transforming you in an instant from a pauper into a magnate of the mind. Now, with your mind focused and your inner wealth acknowledged, we must step outside the confines of the self and address the external world, the reciprocal law of success. For too long, you have carried the belief that you must climb this mountain alone, that your ambition is a solitary burden. I tell you now that loneliness is a wound, and it must be healed through connection. You will find that in the higher brackets of achievement, in the realm where true impact is made, you can only rise by taking others along with you. Your great purpose, your definitive goal, must not be a source of personal consumption. It must be a fountain of benefit to all whom you influence. The universe operates on the law of compensation. What you sow, you shall reap. If you operate from indifference, selfishness, or silent bitterness, the law returns indifference and resistance. Your past suffering is not a tax you must impose on others. It is the currency you use to invest in their future. Success, therefore, is not merely personal accumulation. It is a co-created effort. This leads us to the Mastermind principle. I know you feel the weight of having to protect your mental attitude alone, especially when faced with large-scale, intimidating goals. But you are not meant to do this in isolation. You need an alliance of like-minded individuals, a mastermind, whose collective energy provides absolute protection against failure. This alliance is a covenant of faith. It is a shared positive mental attitude that acts as a force field, dissolving doubt and fear before they can even touch you. This principle is the true alchemy of achievement. It is the pooling of positive intentions to create a resonance that is stronger and more resilient than any single mind. If you wish to write your own price tag in life, you must first ensure that the value you create, the service you render, is multiplied for the benefit of all who associate with you. This is how you align your personal magnetic attitude with the vast collaborative healing force of the world. Your greatest power is not self-sufficiency, it is meaningful interdependence. Healing the wounds of the past. If the master key is the law, then your mental attitude is the magnet that activates it. Remember this truth. Your mental attitude is the one and only thing over which you have complete control. This is the boundary line between freedom and slavery, and it is the single most powerful tool you possess for healing the wounds of the past. Everything else, the loss, the judgment, the betrayal, can be taken from you, but your command over your mind remains yours. This attitude is the difference between being on the beam and being lost in the fog of yesterday. To be on the beam is not blind optimism. It means you have established a success thought pattern in your mind, which the cosmic habit force has already picked up. It means you can look at every past regret, every mistake, and say, I know precisely what I want from life, and I have faith I shall get it because I am no longer defined by what I lost, but by what I choose now. To stay on the beam, you must understand and embrace the word fixation. Fixation, when applied negatively, is the prison of the mind, the haunting, persistent conviction that a past failure or a sickness cannot be cured. That negative loop is what keeps you small, but you must seize this power and use it for good. You must create a definite fixation based on your major purpose in life. This is the unwavering belief in your inevitable success, built by deliberately keeping your mind focused on the things you desire, not the things that broke you. This is the act of radical self-forgiveness, refusing to let the shadow of who you were extinguish the light of who you are becoming. If you are drifting aimlessly, you are on the beam too, but you are on the negative side. You have neglected your birthright and placed yourself under the negative application of the very same law. The universe is responding perfectly to your lack of definition, reflecting your internal chaos. Your daily discipline, therefore, is not a test of strength, but a test of absolute devotion to your own future. You must use self-discipline to create thought habits that keep your mental attitude perpetually positive. This mental attitude acts as the receiving station, pulling toward you every circumstance necessary for the attainment of your goal. You must stop letting the rust of yesterday corrode the magnet of your future. Understand this critical reality. You are always on a beam. There is no neutral territory in the universe of your mind. Every moment of every day, you are making an active choice, whether consciously or through passive, exhausted acceptance. Your struggle is not the failure. Your struggle is the indecision between these two paths. You are either on the beam of success, characterized by definite purpose, sound health, and a fiercely positive mental attitude, or you are on the beam of failure, characterized by aimless drifting, fear, and the negative hypnotic rhythm created by indecision. The failures of this world are not lazy. They are simply trapped by the dominant negative circumstances they dwell upon. They are just as much on the beam as the successful, but they are following a self-destructive pattern, feeding the very beasts they wish to escape. Their suffering is a result of misdirected energy, not a lack of potential. The choice is not a one-time decision. It is a moment-to-moment commitment to your own mind. When you feel the pull toward aimless thought, when you feel the old fear returning, you must recognize it instantly as the enemy of your fortune. This is the ultimate self-discipline, refusing to allow your attention to drift to subjects you wish to avoid. Do not argue with the fear, simply pivot your focus back to your definite purpose. Be busy carrying out your purpose. Keep your mind focused. That is the only way to ensure the beam you travel on leads you to the destiny of your own choice. Healing begins when you stop looking at the wound and start building the life you deserve. So, what is the action plan now that the secrets have been laid bare? It is not complex, but it demands rigor and an uncompromising honesty with yourself. Success is not something you passively wait for. It is something that must be planned and earned in advance through your daily mental practice. First, you must dedicate yourself to the discipline of the written word. Your pocket-sized notebook is now your sacred document. On its first page, that clear description of your major purpose must reside. Revisit it, affirm it. Let it burn the pattern into your consciousness until it is the dominant fire in your mind. Second, you must hold the highest definition of success. Success is the knowledge with which to get whatever you want from life without violating the rights of others. Let this ethical mandate, this universal respect, guide your ambition. Your power must be a source of light, not shadow. Lastly, my final charge to you is simple. Do not ask for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make wiser use of the riches I was given at birth. This is the ultimate lesson gifted to us by men like Napoleon Hill and the industrialists he studied. The power to control and direct your own mind is the greatest, most unstoppable wealth you will ever possess. Take possession of your mind today. Direct it to your definite ends, and let the cosmic habit force do the rest. The destiny of your choice is waiting. Before I leave you, I want to speak not as a mentor, but as a fellow soul still fighting this fight alongside you. I know the weight of the effort. I know the mornings when the old doubt is a loud whisper, and the night when the future feels far away. Understand this, your struggle is not unique, and your failures are not final. They are simply feedback, data points on the graph of your becoming. The true victory is not the achievement itself, but the commitment to stand guard over your mind for one more day. We are human, which means we are imperfect, yet we are divine, which means we are capable of infinite control over our attitude. So, let us make a covenant here, fellow souls, to leave the prison of the unexamined life behind, and to honor the magnificent wealth we were all granted at birth. The work is internal, the reward is unshakable. Go, build your fortress, and I will see you in the next one.